The animated poster was created as a submission for the Heidelberger Symposium with its annual focus on Keep Restless. And I like to see the animated poster less as a decoration and much more as a functional element. And the idea was to put the restlessness into an abstract form and animation that reflects our society and relationships. I placed cuboids in 3D and moved them in very different ways. While the cuboids move randomly on their own, the corners attract and repel each other. And in the movement, the communication, relation and transformation are thereby depicted in a quite abstract way. Especially in moving posters, one can combine the strikingness of the poster design with animation. The poster makes use of an infinity that is created by the animation all on their own. And the random parameters blur the looping point, and one has the feeling that the structure is constantly in motion and never ends. I really like the reference of the poster to our society, but equally the reference to the personal, so that you can interpret it in very different ways. It creates a feeling and it leaves it open whether it is about the restlessness of a society or about the restlessness in oneself, and that's what I really like.
I think it's great and also important that moving graphics are getting more and more attention in our everyday life. Animation is something that has fascinated me for a long time, and I see a great potential in use cases in the field of graphic design, especially when you think of the possibilities that arise, for example, with augmented reality. You get the possibility to give new life to classic print graphics, so that the physical and digital world could really merge together. I don't see the moving graphics as like just an additional effect or gimmick, but rather really see the potential to tell a bigger story inside of your project. My poster here is about an exchange market for vinyl records. Using simple shapes and clear typographic elements, I wanted to imitate the atmosphere inside a record store and highlight the feeling that comes from going through different records by hand. It's a special poster for me because this was like the very first time I decided to work exclusively with Cinema 4D. So the layout is completely created in a three-dimensional space, which opened up a lot of new possibilities in terms of camera angles, movement, light and shadow, render techniques, and so on and so on. It's a really playful design process that has accompanied me in many projects to this day, and movement now often serves as a starting point within the design process and plays a big role for me and my company. The professional fields in the creative industry are mixing more and more, and a graphic designer today doesn't have to limit himself to the print medium, but can also apply his knowledge like in a spatial, interactive and moving media.
The poster was created as an independent work during my studies at the University of Applied Science in Potsdam, and it deals with my own relationship to buying behavior. And through the infinitely falling shirts with the title Just One More, it mirrors our consuming society, and at the same time it has reference to this industrial production through the rhythm of the falling shirts. I took the shirts into a 3D space and dropped them with physics, and later I took them to my 2D animation software, where I created a tracking shot with the camera and created this never-ending pile of shirts. Animation was for me the best way to represent the process while creating this infinity of the falling shirts, and the poster can be continued in this way and still work in a static form. For me, dealing with different topics, especially in animated posters, helps to bring an idea or a problem to the point, and due to the mostly necessary shortness of poses and their animation, it comes up by itself, and thereby I don't deliver any answers but suggestions to think about one's own sustainability.
The idea of this poster was to present the new visual identity for the collective Biennale Urbana. We wanted to show the special typography we designed for the project and how by stretching the letters it could be interesting to illustrate the collective work. Also, we thought it would be funny to play with common objects such as folding chair or glass of water to see how they react to this stretching animation. It creates an unusual situation that we found interesting, bringing a new look to this object, such as Biennale Urbana does with Abundant Space in Venice. We used the typography we designed especially for the project and also 3D motion design. We think that poster design is a very complete discipline. Sometimes it's more about aesthetics and the focus is more on the visual. Sometimes it's more about the meaning or the information you have to share. Or sometimes it has to be animated and it brings a whole new dimension to it. It's almost like designing a film. You have to find a rhythm, how to sequence the elements in time. It's really exciting and we have a lot to invent still.